Don't get Zuckered. Are you Zuckered? Hi, I'm Flavio Blanco with The Truth, and I want to tell you don't get Zuckered. Don't let the Facebook media empire fool you, or Twitter. They've both been trying to Zucker or fool the American people into censoring all kinds of valuable information you and I are entitled to know to make good decisions and be informed. And yet they're censoring. Like this is the communist United States of America. Why would Zuckerberg and Dorsey act like communists? Um, because they're part of the deep state and the corporate elite. What is the deep state and the corporate elite? Well, those are the guys that are running this country. Uh, you may think that we, the people who vote and elect a president, are running the country. We're not. Not anymore. It's become more evident than ever in the last 4 years that the corporate elite are running things. The deep state is running this country, and we're not. We've been left behind. The people are no longer in charge. Now, we can get back in charge if we will attack this corruption and attack this abuse of power. But if we don't, this communist tendency of our nation will continue. And that's for the worst, not for the best. So Zuckerberg and Dorsey of Twitter, they both got interviewed and heatedly asked questions by Congress because of them taking the audacity to actually censor information and try to keep it hidden from the public, you and me. One of those stories was the one about Hunter Biden's laptop that was found, reviewed by the New York Post, and revealed unbelievable corruption with the Biden family between China and the Ukraine and other foreign governments. This is something that, as a voter, I would want to know. I'd want to know more about that and what it means, and how deep is the corruption, and is there a conflict of interest with China if Biden's getting, into billion-dollar partnerships and his son's into, large partnerships with China. You'd want to know. Don't get Zuckered. I've done a lot of research on mainstream media. I've taken stories, gone and done the homework that you may not have time to do. And here's what I found. I found that the media is almost entirely a propaganda arm of the corporate elite and deep state. I hate to say that because this is America where the First Amendment should be practiced, where we should be entitled to fair and balanced news in our news organizations and organizations like Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, whatever, even Google searches. I mean, we should be able to get reasonably good information in this country because we're a free democracy, right? No, we're not. We're slipping down a slippery slope, and we, the people, have to take charge. We have to demand that this corruption in our government be cleansed. You say, what corruption? Oh, what corruption? If you worked in the CIA, if you had a job at a high level, do you think you might be able to get away with a few crimes and not get caught? The answer is, of course. This is where the deep state has more power sometimes than the president. And this is why we, the people, have to demand integrity. This is why Trump said he wanted to drain the swamp. Oh my gosh, it does need draining. It's just nobody realized how deep the swamp was and how wide. This swamp is huge. We've got to clean it out too. So one example of the CIA breaking the law, very simple. Edward Snowden blew the whistle. He was a whistleblower, revealing that they're spying on you. The government spies on you and me and all innocent citizens. Not just the criminals, not just the terrorists. They spy on all of us. Did you know that? Did you remember that? That was about, 3-4 years ago. They broke the law. They're probably still doing it. The FBI broke the law. James Comey, what did he do? He tried to arrange circumstances to get President Trump basically spied on before he became president, and to do other things to stop the advance of General Michael Flynn, who knew the intelligence business and was going to help Trump do some swamp cleaning, which didn't get done because they forced his resignation. They even put him in jail before this last election in 2020. So the FBI has acted in a partisan way. The judges did too. Now, you should never have to go to jail because you support a candidate, whether you supported Biden, Trump, or a third party. You shouldn't have to go to jail for that. That's communist practice, all right? This is the United States. This is not a communist country, is it? Because we're acting like one. These judges need to be held accountable. They need to be fired, and they need to be replaced with people that will actually act like a judge, which is being fair and balanced and acknowledging the truth and not being a flaming Democrat or liberal who wants to go after Republicans, or a flaming red-hot Republican wanting to go after Democrats. That's not what judges are supposed to do. They're not legislators. It's not their job to throw people in jail without cause and keep them there for 30 days or more when they haven't done anything wrong except support a particular political candidate that they believed in or supported for some reason. So that's what's going on in our nation. We have 17 intelligence agencies. They all need to be reviewed, but it doesn't stop there. We have a lot of political candidates that need to be investigated. And the worst thing that I've found from my research is that there is actually tons of credible evidence for voter fraud. 6,000 people, the governor of Arizona announced, 6,000 people voted from the dead. And I think it's jumped up to 10,000. Several of the swing states, actually even outside the swing states, have found similar things going on. The numbers haven't added up correctly. You know, when you vote, 2 people might vote one way, maybe 6 vote another way, then 2 people vote one way, then 8 might vote another way. But that's not what's happened. The voter fraud is revealed in the numbers. When you have 60,000 votes suddenly go down at one time, that's not normal. That's not how the numbers work in any normal voting cycle. It doesn't work like that. You have some for one candidate, and it trickles in back and forth, gradual. It's not suddenly, 60,000 votes for one candidate. So they've also covered up the windows. There's people that are witnesses, over 130 affidavits. It's probably well over 130 now. People have testified to seeing problems with the voting process, being intimidated and bullied to vote Biden, being intimidated to do certain things, fill out ballots that weren't filled out properly, and so on. Anyhow, regardless of which candidate you support, you should be very concerned about this and the Dominion voting software, which was made in Venezuela to help Chavez. One of the high-ranking general out of Venezuela has testified that this software, which was used in the last election by many states, is flawed and can be manipulated to convert votes from one candidate to another candidate. This is America. This is not a banana republic. Why are we allowing these people in the corporate elite and the deep state and the politicians to steal America, to steal liberty? Justice. We want justice. We want righteousness. This corruption has got to go. So please check out some other news sources, because mainstream media isn't worth watching anymore. Honestly, just throw it out. Don't watch CBS, ABC, NBC. They're all corrupt, crooked as they could be. Because I've done the homework, and you can do it too. But I've done it. Lots of other people have done the homework. They're not reporting the news. They're reporting a narrative that supports the deep state and the political elite to attain their objectives. They're not representing you. They're representing them. And that's what they use the media for. I would suggest Newsmax. Good source. Check out Newsmax. Also NTD. Check NTD out on the internet. Just Google it. And they've got several videos up on YouTube. Good stuff. News that's fair and balanced. Not trying to push a narrative. Okay, also, the Epoch Times. Good newspaper, got a lot of facts in it, and a lot of information you will never, ever see on mainstream media. I've also noticed that I get better reporting from Sky News in Australia. Sometimes Al Jazeera has some very good articles. RT, Russian television, RT.com, some good articles. You see, sometimes a country is so focused on trying to make you think good things about your country that they take out all the bad stuff. And you actually have to go to a different country on your internet probe to actually get the facts. Because, Russia has no trouble telling you what's bad with America. Now, you have to always bear in mind that some of their take on it is probably slanted in their favor, but you look for the facts. Don't look for the opinions. That's all mainstream news is now. It's all opinion. And it's often omissions of the most important facts. Don't get Zuckered. Don't be fooled. Do your own homework or watch YouTube from people like me, for as long as I don't get censored. Because America doesn't want to become communist. And that's exactly what's happening. We see communist procedures being implemented in our nation, and that's got to stop. We have to stop the corruption. We have to rise up, and we have to pray for our nation and contact those in power and get them accountable. So please do it, and let's not get Zuckered. Let's not let fake news create fake elections. Signing off, this is Flavio Blanco with the truth.